Let's get physical. It's Jordan here, back again with this week's update on all the physical releases coming to the Nintendo Switch, May the 25th until the 29th. Let's see what we've got this week. The Disney Afternoon Collection is releasing physically this week on Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge. And it's not the only one this week, it is a good week for Switch 2 owners. But yeah, this is a retro collection that's finally coming physically and on Nintendo consoles. With this belated release, it's coming with even more games. I reviewed this when it released digitally and liked it a lot. Pretty much all of the games, while very retro, are still nicely pick up and play gems. You get DuckTales 1 and 2, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers 1 and 2, Tailspin, and Darkwing Duck, which were in the original lineup, plus now you get 2 Super Nintendo games, Goof Troop and Bonkers. And the physical release comes with some milk caps, collectible cards, and a sticker sheet. It is worth mentioning on Nintendo Switch 2, it is not a Switch 2 edition, it's not cross-generational, pick the physical that actually works for you. And my executive producers, Dave Horworth, Cartoon Soren, Josh Foote, Mojo, Jake Vav, Mr. Awesome, OGCIB, Instacritic, Jimmy A. Guerrero, Punky Dooster, Madhawk110, JCross7776, and Miami Sunrise, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Bluey's Quest for the Gold Pen is another Switch and Switch 2 physical release. Again, it is not cross-generational, so Bluey fans will have to be careful which physical they pick up, Switch or a proper Switch 2 cartridge. This is, although made for kids and made for mobile initially, is supposed to be a decent enough license tie-in. Fans of the show will enjoy the little adventure with Bluey and Bingo, an uncomplicated collectathon, probably not one for adults, but if you got a kid who loves Bluey, this should be a decent choice. It's also coming on every other modern console, and my executive producers, D's Nuts and Viz, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Naiad is releasing physically in Europe this week, apparently as an exclusive. This is a minimalistic, colorful adventure game as you guide Naiad on a river to experience a wholesome, gorgeous adventure that has some simple but cozy puzzles to solve from a solo developer apparently as well. Looks really lovely, something a bit different if you want to chill out and relax to something beautiful. The physical comes with a mini art book, a poster, and a downloadable soundtrack. It's also on PlayStation 5, and my executive producers Sora Cat, Danielle O, and the Nemo 6, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Ball Pit is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, and this is a pretty big indie physical release. This sold bucket loads already digitally, like millions, and now it's finally coming physically for those who have patience like us physical fiends. This is a brick breaker style game, but they've actually made it kinda cool and trendy, which is a bit sad. I do like a slightly generic brick breaker. This is supposedly very addictive according to the playtime on many Steam reviews, dozens to hundreds of hours with fast-paced craziness, and my executive producers Precision Plague, Ghost Bune, Nerdy Sean, Dave Huswaite, Super Ben Julio, and Dane Wilkinson, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it or any of the retail games in this video, please consider purchasing via the links down below in the description and pinned comment. That massively helps me out in this series to keep producing useful physical content for you guys. VGP are a wonderful company with free worldwide shipping on orders over 75 Canadian bucks, like 55 American dollars, plus each week, if you buy something, you are put into a draw to have a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Noah F. Congratulations, Noah, you should get an email from VGP in the coming days. If not, just hit me up and I will sort it out for you. Sometimes they just get really busy. I Hate This Place is releasing physically this week on Nintendo Switch alongside PlayStation 5. And as the box art says, this is a game based on a comic book series. And it's a crafting-based survival game as you scour the world for materials needed to, well, survive. There is a day-night cycle which affects how the world is, and call me crazy, but something tells me the nasties might come out during the nighttime. Stealth seems to be your best option as your defensive options are pretty limited. You better be able to craft a flamethrower, otherwise this game isn't worth anything. But my executive producers, Brent McLean, Azrath, and Dead Bunny's YouTube, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Swan is releasing in Europe this week. For some reason, the North American physical is lagging behind. That's coming in June. This is on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, and it's a roguelike game that has a big focus on multiplayer co-op. Yes, you can play alone, but it is better with friends. It's mostly being compared to a much less good Hades, but maybe the multiplayer can add a nice twist to it. I'm getting vibes of Gauntlet Legends from this one, and speaking of which, when can we get more Gauntlet? I missed that game. my executive producer Firm returns. He's chosen this as his pick of the week. System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster is releasing this week on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 in Europe. You may remember that Limited Run handled this in North America already, which was recently sent out to those who pre-ordered it. But if you missed that, then this European version will be a nice option. This is something right up my alley. It's not a full remake like the first game got, but it is a nice port thanks to Night Dive Studios, and it's a classic PC RPG from back in the day with a cyber horror theme to it. I've never played the series, but I would love to, and my executive producer Adamantium has chosen this as his pick of the week. Bendy and the Ink Machine plus Bendy and the Dark Revival is a nice double pack of a game franchise that's already been milked to death. I mean, literally a few weeks ago, Bendy and the Ink Machine got a standalone re-release. It's the third release of that game in a few years, and now it's bundled with a game that also has a standalone release. But if you're looking to save shelf space, or maybe this is a cheaper way to get them both, and maybe there are updated builds on the cartridge, who knows, but it is a decent option if you want to get on the Bendy wagon. Birushana Winds of Fate is releasing this week in North America. Europe is lagging behind a little on this one. Otomi fans over there are going to have to wait a little bit longer. This is the fan disc to the original game, Rising Flowers of Genpei, and this includes routes that follow on from the best ending with each male love interest, as well as new routes with some of the sub-characters in the first game, just to please, well, you know, the fans. That's why it's called fan disc, to please the thirsty and the unsatisfied. And my executive producers Kevin W. and Jennifer M., they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Terminator 2D No Fate is releasing in Europe this week. Wait, what? Didn't this release already? Yes, but that was only in a collector's edition. This is just a standalone release, and it is still overpriced, but that is Reef Games for you. Anyways, this is a solid arcade-style run-and-gun. I liked it a lot when I reviewed it, and North Americans will have to wait a tad longer for this re-release. Taxi Chaos 2, a quick mention to this, which should be releasing in North America this week after releasing in Europe last week. And Little Nightmares 2 is releasing on a Game Key on Nintendo Switch 2 this week. Boo, boo, boo. Alright, the low print limited pre-orders. The Big Con Grift of the Year edition is up for pre-order right now at Limited Run Games. This seems to be one of those occasions where they're flogging European versions of the game rather than paying money for an ESRB release, which that's an instant red flag to me that they don't really have much faith in it, but it is positively received as a game where you try to con people. It is a crime-filled road trip. Actually, maybe the ESRB was just like, no way, we can't promote criminality on store shelves. Society would be ended. GTA though, that's fine. Anyways, you can pre-order on Switch or PlayStation 5 right now, and my executive producers Juice250 and Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Aero the Acro-Bat collection is up for pre-order right now at Limited Run Games on Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5, and this really is a weird one because, well, I like this collection. I don't mind a good bit of retro games on my Switch, all in one cartridge. However, this was also announced for Europe, and, well, Europe's is just so much better because Limited Runs contains 4 games, just the Aero the Acro-Bat games, but in Europe, they're getting 6 games on the cartridge, not only the Aero games, but also 2 more Sunsoft curiosities, Feudal Bros and Justice Ninja Casey. It seems like a no-brainer to get the European one instead, and VGP probably won't stock the European one because they need to keep Limited Run on their good side, but I have linked Lootbox Gaming down below who will be stocking the European version. They are a US company, so it's good for American buyers, and that's probably, in my opinion, going to be the best way to get this nice collection. And my executive producers Jeddah Crow and Surfacing for Air, they've chosen the Limited Run version as their pick of the week. Alright, the imports. Yes, you can import the one game I'm going to talk about in this episode from PlayAsia, and if you click my link, you can get 5% off with my code Jordan2026. Just remember to click my link first, and remember, I am one of the few people left who have a discount code for PlayAsia, so make good use of it. And of course, VGP will be stocking it as well if you want that as an option. Lollipop Chainsaw RePOP Nintendo Switch 2 Edition is releasing in Japan and Asia this week for Nintendo Switch 2 on a proper cartridge. Limited Run did take pre-orders for this in North America, but this import is better. It's cheaper, and it has a less censored cover art. Did you know boobs are bad according to Limited Run? So this Nintendo Switch 2 edition will also play on the original Switch, but the Switch 2 benefits, which include graphical enhancements and running at 60 frames per second, rather than the slideshow of the original Switch, well, that might be an exaggeration, but it wasn't great. It also includes a Switch 2 exclusive game mode that has mouse controls, and this import will play in English, and my executive producers Josh Jamin, Cole Animals, AMH, and God of Resin, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. Now Japan is still pretty crazy over there. They've got a good few games coming up, but the first two, well, we have them already in the West. The second two, they don't have English, and the bottom two, they're game keys. Boo, boo. Before I get into the community spotlight, if you are new here, then please hit that subscribe button, okay? I don't know why I'm saying please, okay? Do it for yourself, okay? You're doing yourself a favor there, not me. It will be the best thing you do today. I promise you I am very useful if you enjoy physical video games. Alright, the community spotlight. Bill R sent in this photo showing off the Japanese editions of the 3 Fuga games, probably to coincide with the limited run versions that popped up in the last episode. Bludo the Smelly sent in this photo with a couple of cover variants, limited runs sold at conventions, always kinda cool, although Eartheon kinda looks like it's grown a couple of hemorrhoids. Bub sent in this photo with Toem, definitely a physical that flew under the radar. It's a really sweet game if you want some cozy photography puzzle kind of game. Yeah, it's one to go for. It's pretty short, but you know. Cartoon Soren sent in this photo picking up quite a variety of games, including Fantasy Tavern Trilogy. Yes, I am paranoid. YouTube will slap me if I say its full name, even though it is a genuinely innocent word. Getting banned by YouTube for a week like last year, that was scary as hell, and I don't want it to happen again. Dave Horwer sent in this photo with Trails to Azure and From Zero, lovely duology that, of all the Trails games, those two are the ones I'm looking forward to playing the most when I eventually get round to them. Dead Bunny's YouTube sent in this photo picking up Ugly. This looks like a really interesting game, a 2D puzzle platformer with an ugly main character. Good reviews all round, but it wasn't a super popular physical release. Maybe it's just not visually appealing enough. D's Nuts enhanced the bounciness around his Switch collection with some springs, and Idle Devils, the bounciest game money can buy. Exile sent in this photo with 3 Trails games, 2 of which were reprinted by VGP very recently, and I wouldn't be surprised if Daybreak was reprinted in a couple of years once this stock sells out and then there's a big demand building up. Firm Returns joined the Switch 2 crew thanks to the announcement of the incoming price increase. I guess now is better than ever if you can afford it. I do honestly think the Switch 2 is a lovely bit of kit. G Bautista 100 sent in this photo picking up a couple of NIS America releases, which makes me sad, realizing that we probably won't see physicals like this on Nintendo Switch 2 if their management style continues. Instacritic sent in this photo picking up the Last Ninja collection, which I talked about VGP finally getting copies of it, only for the moment I pressed the publish button, it sold out. It's typical. They are trying to source more though. Jasper Extreme sent in this photo picking up Steins Gate Elite, which maybe you know, there's going to be a reboot of the game, so 3rd time lucky? And I wonder if it's to undo the Elite part of the more recent game, which while cool looking, I think on the whole, made the story a bit weaker according to fans. Madhawk110 sent in this photo picking up Indiana Jones. I did purchase a copy too, not sure when it will arrive, but I'm definitely looking forward to it and supporting proper physical media. Mojo sent in this photo. I actually forgot Hollow Knight got a new print with DLC on the cartridge. That's pretty sweet. The problem is a lot of listings online like VGP and stuff like that, they don't actually show the new box art, so when you're buying it you feel like you're gambling. Am I gonna get the old one? Am I gonna get the new one? Mr. Awesome picked up Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Nintendo Switch 2 edition, which has the most convoluted official title ever. Well, okay, a few of the Mario Game Boy Advance games will give it a run for its money, but still, you'd think they'd have learned by now. Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay sent in this photo, which includes Formation Z. I'm actually rather surprised Limited Run got that out early, in line with the Japanese release. Good on them. Yes, I did praise them. Don't faint. Starvey sent in this photo with a nice bit of support for the Switch 2 at the top there. I actually noticed quite a few outbound in a few pictures here and there, so it might have done a bit better than I thought it would do. Of all the newer releases around this time, that's the one I was worried would be forgotten about. Super Ben Julio sent in this photo with a double helping of Switch 2. Don't worry guys, I think everything's gonna be okay. Sure, there won't be 5,000 Switch 2 physicals, but there will be enough. TCWS sent in this photo showing off a double helping of Jaws, the original and the recent Switch release. Honestly, I've put off buying an NES for so long. I think I just need to bite the bullet, although I'm probably not gonna buy the big OG boxy one. Sorry about that nostalgia guys. I think I'm gonna get a Famicom, but the new FC version of it. Alright, let's have a roundup. Michael C. Rob L. Cost 71. Pabs. Jimmy B. Robin H. Axeru. Transient Image. Ivan LG. Cultured Weeb. Twig E. Cresolac. Gundam Star Force. R. Luna. Needless Dragon. Bracoon. Alright, if you want to send in your photos, the details are on the screen right now. It is the last episode of the month, so it is a shout out to my executive producers over on Patreon. Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Brent McLean, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Dooster, Cartoon Soren, Robotech, Thorn Metal Luna, Vey, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Alex M, Josh Foot, Lewis K, Kevin W, Jennifer M, Super Ben Julio, Double Dave, Hursway and Hallworth, Sora Cat, The Nemo 6, Ghost Bune, G Bautista 100, Rose, Adamantium, Azrath, Jake Vav, D's Nuts, Jeddah Crow, Brotorius, Surfacing for Air, Justin PDC, Cookie Kid, Radio to Rancid, Daniel O, Switch Effect, Cava, Clavacol, Nerdy Sean, Ligma, Michael Del Polito, Big Bruno, Jimmy A. Guerrero, Max Ty, Viz, Dead Bunny's YouTube, Joshua L, Firm Returns, Kevin M, OGCIB, Mr. Awesome, Miami Sunrise, John Jamin, AMH, Madhawk 110, Raven Knight, Mojo, Juice 250, Mr. Lee from Eastern NC on eBay, and Cole Animals. Thank you so much for your support, plus you watching right now. If you watched all the way through, I want to know who you are. Please leave me a ball emoji in honor of Ball Pit releasing this week. There must be a lot of balls that are available as emojis. Take your ball pick. Go check out some of my other videos, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care.